So we're planning to do some exciting things this year. I want to do some traveling by motorcycle, and I'd like to take you all with us. But I want to do something a little different than what I've been seeing on YouTube. I want to do some family trips, some family motorcycle trips. So one of the problems I ran into when I thought about how we were going to approach this is that I have 2 children in the house. I have 3, but I have 2 children in the house. So Alan behind me, he has a motorcycle, and then there's my wife. Well, my wife doesn't ride 2 wheels. She's nervous on 2 wheels. She had an accident on a bicycle when she was younger and never quite really got over that. So I thought, so how are we gonna do this? We've got another child and her to go on the trip. So I thought, how about a CanAm? How about a 3-wheel? So I don't know, a few weeks ago I took her out to look at some CanAm Spiders. And she really liked it, and I asked her if she thought she was going to be comfortable riding that, if she could ride that, and she thought, yeah, she thought so. So I enrolled her in the MSF course, the MSF 3-wheel course, because she needed a license here in this state. And I already have a license. My motorcycle license, my 2-wheel license, covers the 3 wheels. But I wanted to help her through the class and give her a little moral support and confidence. So we went through the class together. It was a 2-day course. The first day was just half of it was a written portion of the course. So it was academics. And about halfway through the day, they gave us a written exam. Everybody passed. Everybody passed, even when everybody didn't pass. He made sure everybody would pass, so that was helpful. And then second half of the day, we went out to the range and we got on some CanAms and we started some maneuvers. The maneuvers, started off very simple and basics. This is how you get on the bike. This is how you get off the bike. This is how you start the bike. This is how you turn off the bike. This is how you put the brake on. This is how you move the bike forward. This is how you stop the bike. And then they moved into some basic maneuvers, and then we went home for the day. Day 2, we got there very early in the morning, and it was a series of progressively more advanced maneuvers. As people's confidence built, the maneuvers became more complex, where you had to divide your attention between the bike, other traffic, merging with traffic, putting signals on. Now, when I say traffic, I mean other CanAms. This was all done in a parking lot. I thought the course was fun. Even though I have a license, I got something out of it. As I was telling my son, anytime you feel like you're not learning anymore, you're dangerous. I approach motorcycles the way I approach airplanes. I want to be safe. Safety is my prime concern. I don't ever feel like I've learned everything. I think there's always something new to learn, and I learned something there. First of all, I'd never been on a CanAm, so I learned to operate a CanAm. And anytime I have a veteran rider giving instruction, I feel like I'm getting something out of it. So we had a good time. So we all passed. I think there were 10 skills that we had to perform satisfactory for the instructor, and then we took the exam. The exam was, we had to perform 6 skills, and you do have to pass 6 skills. If you can't pass 6 skills, you do not pass the course. That's not to scare anybody. I think that by the time you get to the skills test, I think you're ready. So Lizelle got her certificate yesterday. We took the Tesla to the DMV. In fact, I did a how to charge a Tesla video that I have yet to upload. I ran into some issues. I'll hopefully upload it in the next couple of days. And anyway, so she got her license, so we're all set. So now I've got a 2-fold plan to get this family on some motorcycle trips. One, Alan, I'd like to upgrade his motorcycle to something a little bit bigger. He's on the 125 because I wanted something small. I wanted something to build his confidence. And then after his confidence was built, then I wanted to move him up to something just a little bit, something to go a little bit faster, highway speeds, we're not planning to do much interstate riding. I personally don't like riding on the interstate. In fact, I've got a bit of a phobia about that. But I'm going to address that soon, and I'm gonna bring you all along on some of those trips too, as I expand my area of comfort. But anyway, so we're going to upgrade his bike. I want something, I don't know, in the 400 to 500 cc range. Not too big, not too small. We're having a little father-son debate about that. He wants a sport bike. I have nothing against sport bikes. I personally would like to see him on something that travels better. I'd like to have him on something that is sporty. I get it. He's 16. I get that. But something that will be comfortable on a longer trip. I mean, going to and from school around here, around our local town, I don't really think it matters. On a longer trip, I think after you start riding for 2 or 3 hours, I think comfort is a factor. It's just my opinion. So anyway, we'll see what we can come up with. We'll probably look at some bikes today while we're getting his oil change done, and we'll see what options we have. So, part 2 of the plan. Lizelle, I hopefully will someday feel confident enough to ride the CanAm. Well, I think she's confident enough to ride it now after the course, but I'd like to see her confidence level build to where she can. I'm having major issues with my helmet fogging up here, but I'd like to see her stand by. I'm merging traffic here. I'd like to see her get to the point where she's comfortable to take it on a highway like this one. And we'll take these kind of highways on all of her trips. We're not going to be on the interstate, but I'd like to see her confident enough that she can do that. And then we have, at home, we also have a 13-year-old, turns 14 next month, Terrence. So I want Terrence on the trips, but the only way Terrence can be on the trip is if Lizelle can carry him on a bike. That's why I'm looking for the CanAm. During the class, I rode. You don't get a lot. You don't get any choice in what you ride the class. So I ended up on a Riker. I like the Riker, but once again, on a long trip, I didn't seem to be, for me, my personal opinion, that didn't seem to be the bike for me. I didn't feel like that's going to be comfortable. It seemed to me like you had to work the steering a little harder than what I understand a Spider to be. I've not ridden a Spider. I've only watched YouTube videos. And it doesn't even look as, if you just look at the bikes together, it doesn't look as comfortable as a Spider. Comfort's important to me. I'm not old, but I'm not young either. And I like to be comfortable on my trips. This is the reason why I like Susie. Susie is my Burgman that I'm on right now. This is one comfortable bike. I can ride this bike for hours, and it feels like I'm sitting in my living room. As I've mentioned before, I mean, I know how to ride a motorcycle. I can shift, and I just prefer not to. Like I said, I just prefer to be comfortable. So anyway, I've sat on the Spider, and I find that to be really comfortable. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to bring you all along when we do our shopping. We're planning to head up to Austin. We live in Texas. We're planning to head up to Austin, but we don't live in Austin, to do some shopping. My plan is to get at least one of the bikes there, if not two. What I'd like to do is buy the bike in Austin and then take a trip back. I think, at least this is what I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking we'll all go up in a car and do some shopping, make some decisions. We'll probably do that over the next couple of months on what we're going to purchase. And then when I'm ready, we'll buy one or both of the bikes there. Lizelle and I will fly up to pick up the CanAm and have a nice road trip coming back home. Austin to where we live is about 3 hours, but back roads probably 4 hours. And then the next time I get some free time, Alan and I will ride the Riker together back up to Austin. And then Alan and I will do a road trip coming back on his new bike, whatever that ends up to be, and me on the Riker. This is the first for me. I'm trying to get a handle on operating the motorcycle and talking to you all at the same time. I'm not used to that. So far it's okay, but I just want to make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. So that's one option. The other option is maybe we'll get the CanAm in Austin, and maybe I'll get Alan's bike here. In fact, just as I speak right now, I'm just thinking, you know what, it's maybe better if we get his bike locally. I think maybe he should have some more. Let's see if he makes that light. Okay, he did. It may be better that he has some experience with his new bike before he takes it on a trip. Maybe coming back on a long trip when he first buys the bike is maybe not the best idea. In fact, I think I've just decided I'm not going to do it that way. I think he needs to buy the bike here. Unless he gets a Riker 3-wheel bike, but he's not. He didn't seem to be all that excited about it. I would feel more comfortable with him on a Riker, but at the end of the day, it's not about what I want. I get that. Now I understand what I put my parents through. They don't ride, but when I was 14, I wanted a moped. And well, actually before I was 14, I think it was about 12 or 11, and I started seeing mopeds, and I wanted a moped, and I couldn't wait to get a moped. I talked about it all the time until I was old enough to get one, and I begged and begged and begged and begged, and against their better wishes, they let me get it. They bought it for me, and oh my gosh, I was so excited on this thing. I rode that thing and rode that thing. I had so much fun, and it scared them. I know it did. Now I get it. Now I have a child who's out on a bike, and it makes me nervous. In fact, last week he went out to do some errands. Actually, it was just up the street from where we're at right now, and he was in the parking lot, and I'm still not quite sure what happened, but he came around the corner slow in the parking lot, and he fell. But he had his gear on, and it really wasn't a big fall. It was slow. It was not that big of a deal. But I felt it in my bones when he left that in that trip. For some reason, it just ran through my head. It's like, I wonder when I'm going to get the call that says I've been in an accident. So he calls me and says, Dad, I've been in an accident. And you know, if you're a parent out there, you know what, you're like, oh no, oh no, no. Well, it really wasn't that bad, but that I've been in an accident, you know, when you hear those words, it's scary. But I'm not going to hold on too tight. My parents didn't do that to me, and I'm not going to do that to them. He likes riding. He likes riding on 2 wheels. He likes shifting. I'm inclined to let him do it. My parents let me do it, and I'm going to let him do it. I want him to be able to have the same fun of 2-wheeling that I did. So as I got older, my next bike was a scooter. I had a Honda Elite 125. And it had a little headlight that popped up in the front, and I'm telling you what, this thing was so cool. Man, I enjoyed riding that thing around. I rode that till I graduated from high school, and then my parents had it shipped down to my school, my first school, which was in Daytona Beach, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And I spent a couple years there, and I rode that thing around until it wouldn't go anymore. So, why wouldn't it go anymore? Well, Dodo Scooter Mike didn't change the oil on it. Ever. I think I had one oil change at home before I moved, and then after I moved to school, I never changed the oil again. So one day it just stopped. So, you know, I ruined the engine. And my dad, God rest his soul, like, Michael, I told you got to change the oil. I told you about that. I told you. Yeah, he did. He told me. I had to learn the hard way. So I traded that in. They gave me a few dollars on it, and I traded it in for a Honda 250. And I rode that Honda 250, I don't know, for another couple years. Then I sold that, and then I was done with bikes for a long time. Not for any particular reason, I don't know. I just got focused on other things, and I was moving around too much, and biking just wasn't working for me. So, forgot where I was in the story. Oh, okay, so I got done with biking for many years. Like a whole lot of years. Like over 20 years. And then, about 2 years ago, I just started looking at scooters again. It's like, I'd like to have a scooter. I'm at a point in my life where buying a scooter is like not a big deal. So I hadn't ridden in a long time, and I didn't want to get something too big. Again, I wanted to, you know, I want to get my confidence back, just like I wanted Alan to get his. So I got myself a Honda PCX 150. And, oh my goodness, I love that little bike. It is comfortable. It's got enough get up and go off the at a stoplight. I even took it on the highway a little bit, not much, but just to see what it would do. A little over 65 miles an hour. Fun bike. Oh my goodness, that is a fun bike. Put a trunk on it like I did this one. What I liked, as I've said before, I like the storage. I like to be able to go to the grocery store. If I go to the grocery store, I like to be able to get some groceries and not have to put them on my back. So I rode that one around for a long time, and the thing about it was, after a while, I kind of ran out of places to ride. I was like, well, where should I go? I don't know. I want to ride, but I don't know where I want to ride to. So I started delivering food on the bike. I started delivering for DoorDash. And so I delivered for DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. I put a little thing in the trunk to carry the drinks with, which was challenging every time. I figured out what to get done. I mean, I lost some drinks, but I didn't. I'd say 85% of them I got done in a reasonable manner, but I did have some drink spills where I had to call and say, oh, it's, well, the drinks have spilled. I need to get somebody to complete this order. So they would assign another driver to get another pickup and take the order. But anyway, so I really had a blast. But at some point I got busy with my job, and I really wasn't doing food delivery. So I stopped delivering food, and my only problem was what to do with the Honda. I mean, I love the Honda, but I wanted a bigger bike, and I started going to shops, and I started sitting on larger bikes. So I had it narrowed down to the Burgman 400. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause the story. We'll pick up. I'm going to pick up the story maybe on the next upload. This one I think is going to... I don't want it to be too long. So we're going to go ahead and go to the shop. I'm going to leave you guys for now.